everybody, Ashley here from Mississippi Gateway. I am going to show you how to use a rock tumbler. So I know some of you might have rock tumblers somewhere deep down in your basement and you've never used them, you're not really sure how to use them. Maybe you're interested in getting a rock tumbler. Maybe you're just interested to see what happens. So I'm just going to kind of go through my rock tumbler that I just got to dig out of the garage, which is pretty exciting. So the rock tumbler I have is called a Lortone. And this, if you're going to get a rock tumbler and you think you just might want to try it, don't spend the money on this. You can just get one of the ones that's like at the Science Museum kind of a thing. But if you really think you're gonna do a lot of tumbling of rocks, this is a really great brand. The one I have is the model 45C. I'm not going to recommend that unless you are a serious rock hound who wants to do some serious tumbling. The reason is this barrel is really big. It takes a long time to get enough rocks to fill this up. So even I have troubles doing that, and I pick rocks literally everywhere I go. So I would recommend a smaller one. I can show you a link kind of in the comments of what I would recommend for a more regular use of rock tumblers. So I've got my rock tumbler. I have my grit. So there are going to be 4 different types of grit you are going to need. All right, so this one is 6090 silicone carbide grit. And this one is the one we are going to be using first. This is going to really kind of wear down your rock and get it nice and round and smooth. So that's what that one's about. The following week, we'll go over this again. Is the 120-220 carbide grit, silicone. This one is going to kind of really just smooth out the last of the edges. So that one is week 2. Week 3 is going to be the 500 aluminum oxide. So what this is going to do, these two are all about shaping your rock. This is going to be all about kind of starting to really smooth out your rock, take away all the scratches that these two leave behind. Okay. The last one, which is the polish aluminum oxide, this is really what's going to make them shiny. All right, so that's kind of what this does. It really makes them shine. So I've got my tumbler, I've got my grit. I also have some filler. So what filler is like little ceramic pieces. Sometimes they're these little tubes, sometimes they're little triangles. But these are going to be important later. What that's going to do is kind of fill in when we lose volume. So overall, we're going to want this to be about 2/3 full. And then as we grind away, especially when we do our first one, bits of this is gonna grind away and it's gonna be less full. This is what we wanna fill in then. And what's great about this is you can reuse it. Like this has been through several tumblers worth of things, so it lasts. Okay, so we've got all that, and I've got water. That's the last thing I'm gonna need. So, other than that, I of course need rocks. I need rocks. And I have a bunch that I have been saving up for and been waiting to get enough. I don't quite have enough. So I just went out today to my yard and found some rocks just from our little rock garden, which is a great place to find some rocks. There are a few things, however, you want to think about when you do rock polishing. First thing, you want hard rocks. So if you remember from a couple videos ago when me and Monica went and we talked about rocks a couple of times, there are a few rocks that just don't work well in tumblers. Example being limestone, if you remember that. Limestone, sandstone are just really soft. So these kind of white chalky ones are not good. If you can crumble them in your hand, if it leaves chalky marks, if you draw it on some pavement, not good. Basically what's going to happen to this is just going to be pulverized. And you will not have it anymore. So if you have a cool rock that you like that seems to be kind of soft, don't put it in. I'm going to put these two in there just to kind of show you. I might have some a little bit left over after the first one, we'll see. But they are going to kind of get pulverized. Another thing to keep in mind, things like basalt, this just kind of gray rock. These are hard enough, it'll be fine. However, they're not going to get shiny. So if you want it to smooth and round, this will definitely work. However, it's not going to get super shiny. If you really want shiny, some things to look for. You are going to want rocks that have kind of a glassy or a waxy finish. Do you see how it kind of has that, reflects the light a little bit? This is the kind of stuff that's going to get shiny. So things like chert, jasper, I don't even know what that is. Something cool. These really red rocks, these are usually pretty good. Quartzite, that's gonna shine up really well. So those are things you want to kind of keep in mind. And oh, granite is also a really good one. That one gets nice and shiny as well. The last thing you want to keep in mind is you generally want your rocks to be about the same size when you put them in here. Now, I'm not going to have that luxury today. Some of my rocks are pretty small, and then some of them are pretty big. The reason you want to keep your rocks to be about the same size is this big one is going to act like Hulk in there. It's just going to go around and smash things. All right, so generally speaking, you don't want to do that. However, I think I'm probably going to be mostly okay. Most of the really little ones I have are very hard rocks. The like chert and agates are very, very hard. So I might be okay. I might regret it. If not, it's fine. I am willing to sacrifice some of my rocks for you all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get all my rocks in here. It needs to be about 2/3 full. Okay, so that's about 2/3. All right, so I've got that. Then I'm going to, for this particular barrel size, I put in 6 tablespoons of our 6090 silicone grit. So I'm going to put in 6. Now, if you get a smaller one, you do not need to do 6. 6 is a lot. So I'm just going to pour in 6 tablespoons. Hopefully I've got enough. This doesn't have to be the most exact science ever. 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I think I'm gonna have just enough. Oh, perfect. Just enough. Okay, I'm just gonna add the rest in right there. Okay, so I've got my grit in there. I don't need any filler right now. I probably will next week. And then I am going to fill in water. All right, so I'm just gonna dump this in. And what I need is I need the water to just cover the rocks. This should not be completely full. So if you look, it's pretty much full. All right, then I'm just gonna put this all back on, and this is nice and watertight. So I fit that in, put this on top, screw this all in. All right, so this is pretty much ready to go. So I'm going to find a spot where things can get dirty, so not on my dining room table. I'm gonna put it in the laundry room over here. So if things get a little wet, if this leaks at all, if any when the water in here is going to get really dirty. You can tell by the way this looks. This is not the cleanest activity you've ever seen, but just in case, this should be fine, but just in case, I'm going to put it someplace where it can get dirty and also where it can be left undisturbed. I'm going to plug it in and I'm just going to leave it there for a week. I am going to check on it, make sure it's still running. I want to make sure it's tumbling and not stuck. That's bad for the motor, but I'm just going to leave it for a week. So I'm going to do another video in a week. We'll open this together, see what happened. We'll take the next step, and then we'll kind of continue until we're done with the process. So we'll be back in about 5 weeks with our end product. All right, I think that's about it. So if you have questions about any of this, please feel free to comment. I will try and answer as well as I can. If you have something and you need parts, just, again, put it in the comments. I will happily answer anything you've got. Until next time, I will see you later.